Now, let us start with even numbers. What are even numbers? What do you think even numbers are? Remembering whatever we did last time in divisibility test, let us look at divisibility test of 2. When did we say a number is divisible by 2? A number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. Oh, the last digit is even. Then the last digit is even, or the last digit is 0, the last digit is 2, the last digit is 4, the last digit is 6 or 8. Meaning that if a number ends with those digits, then it is even. And if it is even, then it is divisible by 2. So you see, even numbers and divisibility rule of 2, they relate. So what can you say even numbers are? What can you say even numbers are? If you are asked, what are even numbers? You say that even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2. Or these are numbers that 2 can divide. So let us write that down. Let's say even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2. Are numbers that can be divided by 2. We call them even numbers. So if even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2, then these numbers that cannot be divided by 2, what name do we give them? It's the opposite. So the opposite of even numbers are odd. We say they are odd. So that one will bring us to odd numbers. Odd numbers. And before we look at odd numbers, you can just give us an example. What are examples? What do you think are the examples of even numbers? We say that it ends with 0. So any number that ends with 0, 100. So 100 is an even number. We say it ends with 2. Any number that ends with 2? 32, right. 32 is an even number. It ends with 4. Any number that ends with 4? 14. That is 14 is an even number. It ends with 6. Any number that ends with 6? 176. So 176 is an even number. It ends with 8. Any number that ends with 8? 1,000,008. That also ends with 8. 1,000,008. So those are even numbers. Numbers that can be divided by 2. Odd numbers. What are odd numbers? What are odd numbers? The opposite, we say that if even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2, or numbers that 2 can divide, then what are odd numbers? Odd numbers are numbers that 2 cannot divide. Or we can say that they cannot be divided by 2. So the opposite of even numbers are odd numbers. Then, we are always curious. What if we take an odd number and divide it by 2? What will happen? There is a remainder, and the remainder is always 1. So we have 2 ways of defining an odd number. One way, what can we say? An odd number is a number that cannot be divided by 2, or 2 cannot divide. That's one way. Another way, we can say an odd number is a number that when divided by 2, it gives a remainder of 1, or it leaves 1 as the remainder. So if you give any definition, it is still right. So let us say odd numbers are numbers that cannot be divided by 2. That's one definition. What did we say? Or we can say that when an odd number is divided by 2, when an odd number is divided by 2, there's a remainder of what? 1. There is a remainder of 1. So I'm writing in figures and also in words. So this is what an even number is, and this is what an odd number is. Odd numbers are numbers that cannot be divided by 2. But when we divide these numbers by 2, there's a remainder of 1. Even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2. So if we say even numbers end with 0, end with 2, end with 4, end with 6, and end with 8. So even numbers are up here, even numbers ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. That is now even numbers ending with this digit. Then odd numbers will end with what? Odd numbers we can say odd numbers end with, or is it end with or end in? Whatever. End with 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. So even numbers is ending with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Odd numbers are ending with 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Those numbers are referred to as odd numbers. So already we know odd numbers. We can list them. Any number that ends in 131. That is an odd number. Any number that ends in 13 is an odd number. Any number that ends with 5, 185 is an odd number. That ends with 7, 3,387,000. So that is an odd number. So no matter the big the number is, no matter how big the number is, if it ends with these digits, it is an odd number. If it ends with this digit, it is an even number. So you can tell. So if you are told to sort even numbers and odd numbers, you are capable of doing that with ease. Let us consider an example here. Let us consider an example. What are you being told? Categorize these numbers as even or odd. Categorize these numbers as even or odd. Categorize these numbers as even or odd. So what are the numbers? We have 23. We have 8. We have 76. We have 64. We have 12. We have 57. We have 91. Then we have 50. We are being told to categorize these numbers as even numbers or odd numbers. So you come and say, if even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2 and they end using these digits, or they end in these digits. So what will you say? You say even numbers. Now, our solution. Start with even numbers. Any number that ends with these digits is an even number. This one, 8. So 8 is an even number. Another number, this one ends in 6. This now an even number. Another number ends in 4. This now an even number. Another number, this one ends in 12. This is an even number. This one ends in 0. This is now an even number. So we have categorized even numbers. These are all even numbers. Come to odd numbers. Odd numbers, let's start with, this one ends ends in 3. So this now 23. This one even ends in 7, 57. This is 91. So I've just categorized these numbers as even numbers or odd numbers, and they're very clear. Odd numbers, we say that they are numbers that cannot be divided by 2, but when divided by 2, there is always a remainder of 1. So come and check this. 1, they end in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Look at this one. End in 3, end in 7, end in 1. Meaning that these are all odd numbers. So do you need to go to the moon and come back for you to understand this simple concept? No. And remember, they are the basics. So you don't need, or you don't need to learn rocket science for you to now understand these basic, simple, simple concepts. You don't need that. Now, we have categorized this. Let us look at an example 1. Example 1. We are being told, is the number even or odd? Is the number even or odd? So the question read, is the number even or odd? Is the number even or odd? Now, what are the numbers? We have 45. Next, we have 70. Next, we have 16. Next, we have 3. Next, we have 58. Next, we have 83. Next, we have 2. And next, we have 11. So here, we have our solution here. Solution. Start with even numbers. Start with odd number. So let us give, so even number, even odd. Is the number even or odd? 45. 45 ends with 5, an odd number. So odd, 45. 70. 70 ends with 0, even number. So 70. Now, if you sort the other numbers, categorize them, I've started 70 and 45. So from 70, the next even number, 45, the next odd number. So if you complete this, for me, is it a mistake? No. It is something that you can do very fast now because already you understand even number